All right, we've got Macallister bagging 2 goals on international duty with Argentina the other day. We've also got Szoboszlai looking really, really good for his international team as well. Still a bit concerned about Gravenberch potentially getting an injury. He does look like he's got a little bit of a hamstring problem potentially as well. Liverpool players all looking like they're starting to bag goals and assists for their international teams at this international break. We know that Salah got a few goals as Egypt beat Djibouti to qualify for the World Cup. We've also got Gakpo scoring for the Netherlands. We've got a lot of players looking pretty good. Ekitike starting for France for the first time the other day, also looking really strong. Are we going to see the Liverpool players coming back and giving it their best? We did see, however, Isak not performing that well with Sweden, although I would say Sweden, their squad is a little bit mid, to be honest, and I wouldn't say that it's really his fault. Lots of people scapegoating him in the Swedish media especially, but I really do think that Isak's going to come good for Liverpool as well. We've got a lot of players look like they're performing quite well for their international teams. I think Macallister is the main one that I'm the most excited about. We haven't seen the best from Macallister so far this season, at least to those amazing standards that he had last season, where he looked absolutely unplayable at times and basically ran the show for pretty much the entire season from that midfield role that he played, which was kind of almost in a pivot with Gravenberch, maybe a little bit more of an 8. But he did play that hybrid role of being a bit deeper, but then also being able to move into the mid lines. And hopefully he'll come back looking stronger than ever after the international break. He does look fit. He did play 90 minutes, I think, bagging 2 goals and looking pretty good, to be honest. Looking like he was much less out of sorts than he has been. Hopefully he comes back to Liverpool and is performing like an absolute beast. Also, I apologise if my hair's a bit crazy. I just got it cut yesterday and it's a bit like whoop. But anyway, I think all of our players looking pretty damn good, to be honest, and I'm excited to see how far we can take things going forward. Obviously, 3 losses in a row before Liverpool broke up for international duty, which wasn't ideal. I didn't think we were as far off it as people were making out, but overall, I do think Liverpool have obviously got the players that they have been after all summer. Pretty much all the acquisitions that Slot wanted, apart from probably Gahey. He got pretty much everything he wanted. He's obviously in a bit of a transitional period right now where players are kind of coming in and out, and he's trying to like tinker around with things, trying to find the players that he wants for his best 11. But I think the players are going to start to bed in. They're going to get better. I thought Kerkez looked really good for Hungary, to be honest. Obviously, Szoboszlai looked really good for Hungary as well. And who was the other one? Who was the other one that I'm thinking of? Konate pulled out potentially with an injury. Van Dijk always looks good. Obviously, Alisson's injured. I didn't see Mohamed playing for his international team. Georgia, is it? Who else was there? There's one more that I'm thinking of, and it's really bugging me now that I can't think of it. It'll come to me. But I do think Liverpool are in a position now where they're going to be pressing on and hopefully bedding in some of these new players. Obviously, Frimpong also looked good for the Netherlands as well. I think pretty much all of the first team players that you'd probably expect to play or be in and around there. Conor Bradley also looked good. I think a lot of them really look like they're kicking on and starting to get into some good form. So it'll be really good to see them all come back, bed in, hopefully a bit less of that transitional period. Slot's had a bit of time to think about what he wants to do. Big game at the weekend against Man United, always going to be a tough one. Even though Man United not the team that they were 10 years ago, they're still going to cause us problems. They're always a bit of a leveller, the Liverpool United derbies, to be honest. Last season, when everyone thought we'd roll over them, it was 2-2, and I probably thought that was a bit of a fair result. It was a bit rainy, a bit of a bad day, weather-wise, a little bit of a scrappy game. But I do think that they can be levellers against Man United at times. And I think Ruben Amorim will make it difficult for Liverpool to play the kind of football that we want to play, this nice tippy-tappy in through the lines. Wirtz was what I wanted to talk about. Florian Wirtz looks really good for Germany, doesn't he? And now he hasn't got any assists or goals, and everyone's going, oh my God, Florian Wirtz is underperforming. He's absolutely washed. He hasn't got any goals or assists or whatever. But if you actually eyeball the games and watch them and have a look at the highlights and the kinds of things that he does, you can tell that Wirtz is an absolutely quality player. He's definitely going to come good at some point. He's created the most chances, I think, in the Premier League out of anyone. Was it 18 or 19 chances or something at this point? And it's not his fault if our strike force do not put the goals in that he lays on the plate for people. He's given quite a few nice assists, to be honest, for Salah. I remember in that Chelsea game, within the first 30 seconds of the second half, he flicks the ball into Salah's path and he completely bottles it. Salah's obviously been very hit and miss this season, which you can imagine because of Jota, I would say. Obviously, the whole Jota situation has definitely took the wind out of the sails in terms of the team settling in as well. I think there's been a lot of transition, a lot of players looking quite distracted when they're playing. Konate, especially this season, has looked very distracted and making that right-hand side of the defence look quite weak, if I'm being completely honest. I think he'll come good, but he's clearly had some issues this season. Started off really roughly, kind of settled back in, and then he's been really poor the last few games again. Looking like he's also potentially picked up an injury against Chelsea, went with the France squad, and now has been pulled out and come back again. Gravenberch also a little bit of a concern. Really don't want Gravenberch to be dropping out the team when he's been quite solid, to be honest, overall. Maybe a little bit of out of position for the Caicedo goal against Chelsea, where really he was quite advanced. And they had those two pivots for Chelsea here, and they obviously took advantage of Gravenberch being more advanced up the pitch, when really he probably should have been sat in with Macallister in that 2 against their 2. Probably could have got in and done a little bit more to block that shot. But overall, I do think we're coming out of this international window and break relatively unscathed with injuries, and I'm hoping the players can come back, have a few practice sessions, get everyone back together, get Kerkez playing how he wants to play, and he needs to be flying up that left-hand side, almost as a winger and crossing the ball in a lot. Slot's really keeping him quite reserved at the minute, and I don't think it's his game, to be honest. I think he's getting found out because he's a tenacious, aggressive left-back. He wants to be getting up the pitch. Reminds me of how Robertson used to be when we first had him. Absolutely bombing up and down the left-hand side, flicking all those crosses in. He's got like 50 assists, Robertson, or something in the 7 or 8 years he's been at Liverpool. Absolutely incredible returns for a left-back. That's what Kerkez wants to be doing, but I think he's getting a bit restricted by what Slot is asking for him. Being a bit too defensive, in my opinion, a bit too reserved. Obviously, Slot wants a bit more control than Klopp, where he was very much just like gung-hoing it every game. And obviously, they've got their perks and they've got their downfalls as well, those two slightly different styles. But I think as the season goes on, as I've been saying in every video, Liverpool are going to be totally fine. They're going to come out of the gates flying at some point. We're just waiting for it to click. I think as the season goes on, the players are going to bed in a bit more. The transition's going to start to come to an end. The players are going to be more settled. I think Kerkez has got a lot to give, that he's currently just a bit frantic, a bit like he wants to prove himself too much. Obviously, Ekitike and Isak are going to be amazing for us. Isak's still not fully fit by the looks of things, but he's getting there every match. Obviously, Salah's been out of sorts, but I think he'll come good soon. Gakpo has also been really out of form by the looks of things, but he has been bagging a few goals for the Netherlands. He does still look like a force on that side. So whoever Slot ends up picking for the next game, I do think that we've got players now. They look like they're really coming into some good form for this season. Szoboszlai looked amazing at left wing. Could always be an option. Although I think we do need Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Macallister. That midfield 3 that we played last season, it's absolutely probably the most pivotal part of the team, in my opinion. Just the balance that you have between those players of defence and attack, the good technicality, the work rate. I love the way that Szoboszlai presses from that 10 position onto the opponent back 4. So you've got that 4 versus 4 going onto their back line with your front 4 players when Szoboszlai joins in. And I think Macallister, coming back to the point of this video, Macallister is absolutely essential getting back to that good form. Bagging a few goals for Argentina, getting 90 minutes under his belt with no injuries. He looked pretty fit, so hopefully he can stay fit and he can get back up to full fitness, because he has, in my opinion, looked like he's been struggling this season, still with that niggly injury from the end of last season. Overall, I'm thinking lots of positive performances throughout the international break for Liverpool players. Very minimal injuries, which I'm excited about. Now we can have that good run up to Christmas and hopefully remain fairly injury-free as we go into that. Salah's obviously going to the AFCON, so it's going to be interesting to see how Frimpong plays on the right wing, because I thought he looked really good against Galatasaray for that first half an hour. He was absolutely rinsing their left back like he didn't exist. So overall, I think we're going to be fine. Liverpool are looking good. And overall, I think Macallister, he's definitely going to come good at some point, isn't he? Because he's an absolute beast. I love Macallister. I think he's such an underrated player. I think he's still underrated now. I don't think he gets the plaudits he deserves for how he runs games at times. Like I said, underperforming this season, but I think he's just not been fit more than anything. Not had his best of starts, but I do think he's going to come good. He's an absolutely amazing player, and I can't wait to see how all the players start to bed in and really get rolling this season. They're going to see how Liverpool do. As always, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Please do go down there and check out what other people are saying. Let me know what you think about Liverpool. Is Macallister going to come good? Is Gravenberch actually injured? Is Konate injured? Are we going to start seeing the Liverpool of last season at some point over the next few weeks? Let's see what we can do. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.